It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Friday, December 9th. I'm Michael Groff. With the main storm track staying well to the north of Arizona for the foreseeable future, we should see just some periods of high clouds and temperatures to remain above normal through at least the middle part of next week before we start to see a change in the weather pattern by the end of next week and the following weekend. Maybe we'll get some rain in here. We'll talk about all of it as we get out there and look at it this morning. There's a few clouds in the valley right now here at 5 a.m. We're sitting at 50 degrees at Sky Harbor. Dew points at 39, relative humidity 66%. The winds are calm and the barometer is falling. Temperatures out there this morning other than 38 degrees at Fort McDowell. That's the cold spot. Most of us are in the 40s to near 50 degrees. Temps just a few degrees above where we should be for early to mid-December at this time of the day. Some high clouds streaming across the southwest this morning on the satellite. Watch warning map features freeze and hard freeze warnings for much of Texas, Louisiana, and parts of southeast Georgia and North Florida around the Jacksonville area. Also, some winter weather advisories out here through the west. Now, on the convective outlook, most of the nation ensconced in Arctic air, so there is no organized areas of severe weather to concern ourselves with today. In fact, hardly any thunder whatsoever anywhere across the country except along the immediate Pacific Northwest coast. Speaking of that Arctic air, there it is. Look at these temperatures this morning. The cold spot here in the continental United States, or I should say in the lower 48 states. Right now, minus 18 at Dickinson, North Dakota, minus 16 in Williston, and temperatures below zero in much of North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, and Wyoming. The freeze line goes all the way down to central Mississippi, Alabama, into portions of Louisiana, Texas. It's very cold this early morning. And we'll talk about our weather, which is not very cold. Let's get into the details of our forecast more specifically as we take a look at the models. This is the GFS, the 06Z run, valid at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time today. And it's zonal flow. We've talked about that endlessly this fall. It's been just a common pattern for us. We'll see a few high clouds, especially by this afternoon, as Pacific weather systems move by to the north. So rain and snow for Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Northern California, and certainly the Pacific Northwest and Intermountain West, but nothing around here. High temps this afternoon, mid to upper 60s. Tonight, we'll see partly cloudy skies, lows mid 40s to around 50. Tomorrow, partly cloudy in the morning. I think we see more clouds by late in the day and by tomorrow night. But again, they'll be mainly mid and high-level clouds. High temps tomorrow warm up a little bit further into the low 70s. On Sunday, another wave passes by to the north of Arizona, and I do think that the cloud deck will thicken up further, maybe even enough to produce a sprinkle or some virga across central and northern Arizona, including here in the valley. Not going to amount to any measurable precipitation, but I do think the sky is mostly cloudy and we'll have high temperatures in the low 70s. On Monday, more weather disturbances move by to the north, so partly cloudy skies stay in place, low 70s. Same for Tuesday, more Arctic air spilling down into the central and eastern parts of the country, but that will stay far away from us, and high temps stay above normal, mid-70s by Wednesday and Thursday. This is a week from today, Friday, December 16th, and here comes the change I'm talking about in the weather pattern. A low off the Northern California coast. That's a 982 millibar low at the surface. So we'd have to start watching for increasing winds here in the southwest, especially over Southern California and southwest Arizona by Friday night and Saturday. Clouds on the increase as well. Temperatures would back off to the upper 60s to near 70. This is Saturday, December 17th. Trough continues to deepen, and plenty of cool air will be spilling on in here. And this is an unsettled look for us. Maybe some rain. And high temperatures, low to mid-60s. And this is the end of the forecast period, Sunday, December 18th. And yes, that is rain on the map. And now this might not be a very heavy rain event, but certainly some rain, some mountain snows up toward Flagstaff and in the Sierra, and of course up into the Wasatch of Utah and to the Rockies. So plenty of unsettled conditions here in the southwest. And again, high temps will be cooler, lower to mid-60s. And that's if this verifies. Of course, things are going to change between now and then. You don't want to get bogged down in specifics 10 days out, but there is some consistency in the models to at least advertise a pattern change coming by the end of next week and the following weekend. So accordingly, we'll show you this. This is how much rain we're going to get out of all of that. And the latest GFS suggests a quarter to a half inch with higher amounts across northern Arizona, and certainly some snow up there. All right, now take what I'm about to show you with a grain of salt, because we're going to go all the way out into the land of make-believe and smoke signals and wind and ghosts and voodoo and all of that. 384 hours out into the future. This is 11 p.m. Christmas Eve. And if this were right, and believe me, I'm sure this is not going to look exactly like this, but there'd be a big ridge over the eastern part of the country, a deep low just north of Arizona. This would be a cold and unsettled look for the Southwest. And temperatures would be very chilly Christmas Eve here, if this were right. Now, I understand, things are going to change. You know, if we're not very sure about 10 days out, this is 16 days out. But the idea of a messy weather pattern across the central and eastern part of the country with cold air, the freezing line pretty much from the Texas-Oklahoma panhandle north and east toward Kansas City, just north of St. Louis, and just north of Chicago up toward Milwaukee. Some rain and snow. So what a mess that pattern would look like. Again, that's Christmas Eve, 11 p.m., but, you know, it's obviously going to change. Just something fun I thought I'd show you. And speaking of that, let's take a look at temperatures through the period. Here we go. GFS Ensemble has it at 70 today, and then into the low and middle 70s this weekend and early next week. And then that big cool down by next weekend. But all of these temperatures for the next 7 days represent above normal values. Normal highs are in the mid to upper 60s this time of year. A lot to think about here, and that's going to wrap it up for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. Our next video by tomorrow morning. Thanks as always so much for watching, and have a safe and happy Friday.